This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cavus. American Farm Bureau Federation is a nonprofit organization and describes itself as the largest general farm organization in the United States. The mission of Farm Bureau is to work through their grassroots organization to enhance and strengthen the lives of rural Americans to build a strong, prosperous agriculture community, to deal with issues that are plaguing producers, including the endangered species policies. Listen to Ryan Yates as he explains.
Well, good morning. This is Ryan Yates, Director of Congressional Relations at the American Farm Bureau Federation. And this morning we had the Kansas Farm Bureau in town with us on their annual visit here to Washington, D.C. One of the biggest issues that comes up in conversations with landowners across the country is the issue of the Endangered Species Act. And here at the American Farm Bureau, we have prioritized reform of the Endangered Species Act and intend to work with Congress and the administration to identify opportunities for reform for an antiquated 42-year-old statute that frankly just isn't working for the species or for landowners.
The Endangered Species Act is one of the few dozens of United States environmental laws passed in the 1970s. Signed into law by President Richard Nixon, it was designed to protect critically imperiled species from extinction as, quote, a consequence of economic growth and development untampered by adequate concern and conservation.
Well, the Endangered Species Act was signed into law back in 1973, so we've been working and dealing with the Endangered Species Act for close to 42 years. And in 42 years, we've had nearly 1,600 species listed under the Endangered Species Act. And with that comes restrictions for landowners, letting folks know what they can and can't do on their property when they have an endangered species or a threatened species. Now, the Act, unfortunately, has been largely a failure. In 42 years, we've seen 98% of the species listed under the Endangered Species Act fail to be recovered. With less than 2% of actual recovery under the ESA, we can argue that the endangered species is not only not working for benefiting species that truly are in need of federal protections, but two, they're certainly not working for the landowner. And we intend to identify opportunities for reforms with the new 114th Congress. In fact, in the state of Kansas, Chairman Roberts, the current chairman of the Senate Agriculture Committee, said that he feels the number one endangered species in the state of Kansas is the American farmer and rancher. So we intend to work with Chairman Roberts, Chairman Inhofe from the state of Oklahoma on identifying opportunities for reform within this new United States Senate that we have.
In March of 2014, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service listed the lesser prairie chicken as a threatened species. Threatened is a step below endangered under the Endangered Species Act. If the bird is listed as endangered, the livelihoods of farmers and ranchers and their rural communities will be significantly impacted.
In the state of Kansas, a species of concern that was recently listed under the Endangered Species Act is the lesser prairie chicken. One of the concerns that we have about the lesser prairie chicken is, one, the process in which the species was listed, and two, opportunities for recovery of the bird. Now, one of the failures of the Endangered Species Act over the last 42 years, as I mentioned, is the inability for the Act to truly recover species. So we're looking forward to working with not only the Fish and Wildlife Service, but opportunities to engage with the State Wildlife Agency to actually develop and implement a recovery plan so that in working with the state agencies and the landowners, that we could actually indeed increase populations of the lesser prairie chicken to a point where we can get the Fish and Wildlife Service to delist the bird.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.